This is a deep, deep lesson that I feel like can really change a lot of people's lives is the theory or just the idea of you can either be right or you can be happy. And what I find is a lot of people spend so much time to be trying to be right and trying to be correct and get the right answers that they end up arguing and debating and spending so much time in that world that they don't get nearly as much done. If you have ever read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People, it talks about this in depth, which is people going around that just continue correcting and correcting people, they end up breaking down relationships. And this is something that we all need to work on. It's a very difficult thing to do because I think almost innate or in us as human beings, like we want to be right, like we crave the feeling of being right. So it almost goes against our nature and it takes a lot of work. Most people die and they never master this art of, instead of trying to be right, trying to be happy. And I often talk about, it's not about right or wrong, it's about better. Like, how do we get to better? How do we work together? Maybe it's not you're right and I'm wrong. Maybe it's you have some right in what you're saying, I have some right in what I'm saying, you have some wrong and I have some wrong. But together, if we grab the better parts of it and put it together, if we collaborate, we can do so much better. We can innovate and we can understand each other better and we can grow together. We can accomplish so much more, to where, as opposed, when you keep telling people that they're wrong, all you're doing is like, it's almost like creating a line and saying you're on that side, I'm on this side, me against you. And it's just like a negotiation. It's the worst way to negotiate. If you really want to get something out of that conversation, instead, try to find more common ground. Instead, try to find where this person is right and where they could be, teaching you something that you need to learn, and just work on that. But this is often is a very confusing ideology and thought process because most people haven't mastered or even tried to understand it. But it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and it honestly, like I say, most people go through life and they don't accomplish being able to master that. You can either be right or you can be happy. And learning how to go through that process of being happier and not always correcting people and not always trying to get in debates about things. That's a very difficult topic, but it's one that I feel like if you can master, it can change your life. Sometimes it's the art of listening. Sometimes it's the art of active listening. Sometimes it's just, kind of dropping your pride and dropping your ego and just having a conversation. But it's difficult because often human beings aren't, singular. There's so many pieces to us. We're very four, five, six dimensional. So emotions come into play and other things come into play. Preconceived notions and thought process about other human beings and judgments come into play. So that becomes very difficult. But if you can work on that, instead of correcting people, just trying to like learn from them and thinking about things, you can choose to be happy over being right. So I challenge you to read How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book, and it's taught me a lot. I've got a lot of growing to do. I work on this as much as possible, and I hope you are too. Guys, I love you guys. I hope this helps. Y'all have a great day.